Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Warrenton's Fantasy Fantable Football League. It is I, Jeff Darling, your commissioner and your host for the Week 8 recap, the Week 9 preview. And we've got ourselves, it was just another really strange week of fantasy football. We had people who didn't have starting players in their lineups. We had people that have been scoring less than 50 points for a few weeks in a row score 150. We had someone who was on a 5-game losing streak still lose again and extend that to 6 games in a row. We had heartbreak, and we had euphoria. We had intrigue, and we had utter and total dejection. And most of those were all me, the negative ones. Those were all my feelings. All right, so let's get into it because it's late. I'm tired. It's been a long week, and I've got still a lot to do before I can go to sleep. I was playing Matt, and I know everybody wanted me to win. Even Matt wanted me to win. He said, you know what? Yeah, I don't like me. I don't like me in fantasy. I want Jeff to win. And the Niners tried to help me. They got you -3 points. And Jonathan Mason, or whatever his name is, Jay Mason, I don't even know who the heck he was, 1.1 points. So, guys, I was feeling pretty good. There was a point, and it's rare for me these days to have a week where I have like a 60% chance of winning. I felt that joy for just a brief few moments. But, you know, Jalen Hurts, like 38 rushing or passing yards with 4 touchdowns. James Cook, yeah, sure, let's just give him 38 points. I sure would love to have one of the players that just absolutely goes off and goes crazy. It just doesn't seem to happen, because if you take those 2 dudes away, I crushed. My team was a lot better, but I lost. And it's the worst part about it is you look at my bench, and if I'd played a different kicker and a different tight end, I would have won. The kicker I did debate about playing. The tight end, I never considered playing Mark Andrews over Ferguson, because Ferg's gotten like 15 points on average every single game. And he gets one target and no catches, a big old goose egg. I mean, that's just not right. That's why I never draft Cowboy players, because then when they lose and I lose because of them, you know, you got double fate riding on them, and you're like, well, that was just ill-advised. Anyways, I lost. Congrats to Matt. He wins. Improves to 6-2, and I am 2-6. Very great. Okay, next up we had Brandon. Guys, I didn't have ChatGPT go through this week and do a bad luckograph, but if we had, again, a bar chart that shows people's average score, it would be like this, and then when they play me, it's this, and then they go back down to here. Brandon, 156 points last week, and you're playing Dan Pon, who only scores 98, still would have beat me. But you only score 85 points, Brandon? What the heck, dude? Like, it's just rude. It's what it is. It's just rude. And not to make every game about me, but this is my video, so I can do whatever I want. Brandon, you were projected 123 points. You scored 85. And looking at your team, I mean, golly, what happened? I have to sneeze. The old threefer. All right, bless me. Anyways, Dan, congratulations. You beat Brandon. You are 5-3, and Brandon's 4-4. I can't figure this league out. I don't know what the heck's going on. How is Dan, again, the points against, favored one. Your points against continues to be low. Brandon scores half the points that he normally gets against Dan, because that's just Dan's fate this season. Very interesting. And Greg, next up, Greg taking on Jason. Jason, who was just plummeting with me. He had lost 4 in a row. And Greg used up all of his points against me 2 weeks ago. Every single point that Greg could have gotten, he scored against me and has gotten 100 points less I think he scored 170 against me, 70 last week, 71.28 this week. Greg loses to Jason, 95 to 71. And yeah, Greg, this was not a special dig at you. When I had to go through and tally how many touchdowns every team scored. Matt had 6, Steven had 8, someone else had maybe 7, bunch of 5s. I had 4. Some people had, I think, 3, and then Greg, 0 touchdowns by your team. I mean, that in and of it, that should have been a prop bet. Who could win without having their team score a touchdown? The more I say this, the more I almost want to override what this week's prop bet is, because I'm not crazy about it, but we'll get to that later. Anyways, congratulations to Jason breaking that losing streak. Gosh, I'm jealous. 95 would have beat you if I played you, Jason, but I didn't. 95 to 71. Greg falls to 3-5. It's crazy. All of that, and I'm only 1 game worse than Greg. It feels like I'm like at least 10 games worse than Greg. And we've only played 8. Jason moves up to 4-4. All right. Next up, we had Michael taking on Steven. And Steven, I got to say, dude, bad luck for you, though. Malik Neighbors, Cam Scatabo, season-ending, terrible injuries. Guys, did you hear about what happened to Scatabo? Like, he almost lost his foot. He had like an open wound. That's why they had to do like emergency surgery. That's wild. Anyways, despite that, Steven taking down one of the hottest scoring teams in the league. I think Michael had been riding like a 4-game win streak. Loses to Steven, the newcomer, 112 to 88. Looking at the bench, I mean, nothing that Michael could have done. Nothing he could have done. And Steven, congratulations. You did make the right call at quarterback. Drake May did outscore Herbert by 1 point. But yeah, dude, you've got a very interesting... I might propose a trade for you because I could use a good backup quarterback that could actually be my starter. You're hogging people, man. Anyways, congrats, Steven. Up to 5-3. Michael is also 5-3. Our next matchup was Carlos taking on the Queen. And Hannah, I just don't understand. That's why this year of fantasy is just particularly mind-boggling. Hannah, of all people, who is 4-3, which didn't make sense, honestly, because the last 2 weeks, I think you scored a total of 100 points. And then you score 149 against my bad luck bro, Carlos. Carlos, 98. You would have beat me if you'd played. You would have beat Jason if you'd played him. You would have beat a bunch of people. But no, you played one of the worst teams, no offense, Hannah, one of the worst performing teams up until last week. And then Hannah goes off for 10 touchdowns by her team. 3 for Jordan Love, 2 for Barkley, 3 for Breece Hall. Metcalf had 1. Hunter Henry had 1. I mean, just insane. 10 TDs. 149 to 98. Carlos, there was nothing you could do. It just wasn't going to happen. Anyways, Hannah's 4-4. Carlos tied with me still, buddy, 2-6. We're making it pretty entertaining. Also, congratulations to both of us. We're now the proud new fantasy coaches of new players with my second ever trade of my life going down. But more on that later. All right, then we had Mike taking on Sean. And Mike. Sean needs no handouts. Sean deserves no handouts. You didn't start a quarterback. And now I understand, I've talked to you personally about this. I know that you are much chagrined about it and you are upset. And John Harbaugh is going to receive a stiffly worded email from you with Lamar Jackson. But if you had played literally anybody, any other quarterback, I actually didn't see who was available. I didn't see who was available on the free agents. But, I mean, you lost by 14 points. So that's pretty bad for a quarterback. I feel like you probably could have found somebody. Aaron Rodgers, somebody. Because you almost beat Sean. And Sean, that would have been pretty crazy if you had lost to someone who didn't start one of the highest potential scoring positions. But you started Dak, only got you 6 points. So who knows? Maybe it wouldn't have worked out. But 112 to 98. Both you guys are 4-4. And this is just a strange league this year, guys. I mean, no one's walking away with anything. I mean, right now, Matt's the top dog at 6-2. We've got 3 teams at 5-3. Dan, Michael, and Steven. And then we've got 5 teams at 4-4, which would be Sean, Jason, Mike, Brandon, and Hannah. Greg is 3-5, and then Carlos and I are 2-6. So I mean, you go on a 2-game win streak, 2-game lose streak, and then all of a sudden you're in first place. I mean, it's not going to happen for me or Carlos. Probably not Greg either. But I mean, the way that no one's scoring against Dan, he's probably going to. It's just wild. Just very strange year. Because guys, it seems like every week somebody's team is scoring 150, and somebody's team is scoring 50, and then the next week it usually is flip flopped. Then you have people that score on the average like 98 points, and they never play the teams that score the 50 or 70 points. It's always the teams with the 150. And then you got everyone else that wins some nail, but I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird. No one's consistent. Fantasy players themselves, it's just roller coasters all day, every day. Very strange. All right, let's take a look at our Week 9 matchups. Jeff Boys taking on Team Midnight. Hey, buddy, if you could just leave your quarterback out, that would be swell. Right now, you do have a running back on bye week currently in your starting lineup, and your kicker. I was feeling pretty nice because I'm projected to win 111-90, and then I saw that you had 2 positions that were on bye week. So once you update that, I will be losing. Next up, Dan taking on Matt, and right now, Dan, good call out in the chat. Right now, projected 124.26 for Matt to 104.26 for Matt to 104.25 for Dan. Wow, that's about as close of a prediction as you can get there. Let's see. Next up, Jason taking on Brandon. Right now, Brandon's projected to win 123 to Jason's 100, but you've got some people in your lineup that are on bye week. Then we got Steven, 5-3, taking on 3-5 Greg. Projected 83 for Steven to Greg's 110, but again, people in lineups. Maybe I shouldn't even say the scores because no one's updated their lineups yet. Hannah's taking on Michael. Hannah has updated her lineup and is projected to lose by 40 points. What is going on? Michael, 129 projection to Hannah's 91, and that's with everyone on start. Oh, you got Barkley out, Irving out, Breece Hall out. It makes more sense. All right, well, best of luck. We're rooting for you, Hannah. No offense, Michael. All right, and then Sean taking on Carlos to round out the week. 119 Sean projection to Carlos's 114. All right. That is our preview for Week 9. Now for our prop bet. So congratulations to Hannah. 10 total touchdowns. Mike won it last week. Hannah wins it this week. We've had 8 weeks of prop bets. Carlos has won 3 of them. I've won once. Mike and Hannah won. That leaves 2 left. Who else won? I don't remember. But it's been fun so far. All right, here's the Week 9 prop bet. I really actually wanted to do what I was saying earlier in the video of having the team with the least amount of touchdowns win, but that's not what it is. All right, here's what it is this week. This week's called Boom or Bust. It's going to be the team where you take your highest scoring player and your highest scoring starting player, and then the score of your lowest. Golly, Jeff, start over. This week's prop bet's called Boom or Bust. It's where you take the highest starting player's score on your team with the lowest. Stop doing that with my hands. The lowest scoring, the lowest starting player's score on your team, and you add those up. The highest. Oh, it's so complicated. ChatGPT has betrayed me. I need to write this one down. Yeah, basically you add your highest scoring player and your lowest scoring player from your starting lineup, and then that combination, the highest score that is the person that wins. Why is that the bet? I don't know. I just asked for 14 fun bets, and they thought that was a good one, and it made sense 9 weeks ago when I was coming up with these, but I'm trying to think it through in my head. Does this make sense? You have a player that scores 38 points and then a player that scores 2. Your total score is 40. Then you add that up. If someone has 28 and then their lowest score is 7, then that's 35. All right, that's how it works. All right, I'm convinced we're going to do it. On the off chance that there is somehow a magical tie to the decimal point between 2 teams, it goes to the highest scoring team for the week will win. All right, that is the prop bet. That's all I've got for you guys. Have a wonderful week. Please check your lineups, unless you're playing me. Check your lineups, Carlos. fifth trade proposals, the charm. I know Achan's just going to go off and go nuts against me, but hopefully Keenan Allen. And who else did I trade for? Some dude on the Bears. Anyways, I hope they do well. Hope you do well. I hope we both win. Actually, no, I need to win just a couple more, and you lose a couple more, and then solidify a calendar. Greg would actually be a fun calendar. Okay, have a good night. Goodbye.